server which we require later on is certificate authority, CA server. Many organizations have their own CA server inside their network. For many feature you can use this CA server, like in firewalls. You know, firewall, when they decrypt the packet, so you need to create CA certificate, root certificate. You can configure locally. But for outside world, you need to buy from like GoDaddy and DigiCert. You need to buy the certificate. But for many things like 80% we can use local certificate. But how we can get that certificate? You need to configure your CA server. So let's go to server. Again, this server will be a CA as well. As I already told you at the beginning of this topology, this one is AD as well, DHCP as well, DNS as well, FTP as well, NTP as well, and CA. And real world, the only thing will, maybe you have, normally you have a different CA server 2012, but a different which is connected here. But due to limited resources, I'm using this as a all server, but in real world it will be not like this, keep in mind. So let's configure. I already take a remote desktop to 230, and let's go to server manager to configure this as a CA server. Okay, click add role and feature, click next. We already know this one, we already know. And here is the top one, Active Directory certificate services. You need to choose this one and click add features and click next. Click next, click next. Now you need to choose enroll services. You need to choose all these. Add feature, click this one as well, this one as well, and this one as well, and this one. We need all these. This is related to certificate. Okay, all these feature 1 2 3 4 5 6, and click next. Click next. No need to do anything. Click next and install. It will take some time to install, and then it will show you that configure CA server. Okay, so until it take time to install this feature, let me show you from slide. So what we done, we choose the first one, Active Directory certificate services. Last time we choose this one, keep in mind, Active Directory domain services. This one is for certificate purpose. Then we click next, click next. Here I choose all the certificate options. Okay, and click next and click next, click next. And now we are going to install all these features. Okay, when it's done, again it will give you a link here, configure Active Directory certificate services on the destination server. Either you can go to, you know, the triangle, it will show you there as well. But keep in mind, by default administrator is not allowed. In real world there is extra user for certificate, because you cannot use administrator for this purpose. But because this is our lab, so what we will do, we will use our administrator as a certificate user as well. So what I need to do, I need to go to IIS, means the web server, and I need to allow administrator. Okay, this is the only thing we need to do. And then we need to configure one by one all these certificate services. So let's go back to the server. Okay, it will take another 1 minute. So what I need to do, I need to put the administrator here, credential, and because we choose 6 services, so what I need to do, I need to configure the first 3 first. This is the way to configure, and when it's done, then I will configure the last 3. So first you need to choose the first 3 services, keep in mind, not all, because it will not work. And then enterprise CA, you need to choose the default one. Just click next, no need to do anything. Root CA, because we need to configure root CA, a new private key, and then by default SHA-1 is, I think, so configure. So we need to make them stronger, so I will choose SHA-256. Yeah, we know what is SHA-256, we already discussed in many courses. These are the default entry, they will do automatically, no need to do anything. Certificate will be valid for 5 years, it's okay for us. And these are the location where they will store, and click configure. When the first three configure, the first certificate authority through web enrollment and aligned responder, then when it's done, it will give you an option that you want to configure the rest of 3 services. You need to say yes, and then you need to configure the last 3 services and click next, next, next. There is no need to do anything. Okay, so let's go back and see there. Yeah, it's done. And here is the option, and also here notification area. So they say configure Active Directory certificate services as a destination on the destination server. Click on this one and test user and click next. Choose the first 3 which I told you. Click next and click next. Now it will give me an error because I am doing IIS server, web server going to install, and by default administrator is not allowed. Let's see. So I say enterprise CA next, root CA next, no need to do anything. Create a new private key next, and instead of SHA I will make them more stronger, SHA-256, and click next. These are the default entry they took automatically. 5 years next. This is the location where they will store all the detail. Click next and configure. Okay, and now let's see. So these 3 services are installed. Okay, and when you close, it will give you this: do you want to configure additional row services? So yes, because 3 are left. Click yes. And now again, test administrator, click next and choose the last 3 and click next. Now the account which is recommended, they say that the account has to be an IISI user, means the web server. So I say administrator, specify, select, and here I say administrator, and abc@1234.5 is the password, but it will give me an error. Okay, they say that account is not member of local machine, and it's true. So let's go back to tool, Active Directory user and computer. That's the only thing you need to do, and go to users, click on administrator and add to a group, and group is IIS. Check name, it's okay, click OK and done. And when you go to administrator and member of, so now it's this member, so it's done. So you need to do this step, and let's go back to our configuration where they give me an error. Now if I say administrator, password is abc@12345 and okay. So I hope so it will not give me error this time. Click next, no need to do anything, click next. And CS server, no need to do anything, window, and again I need to choose administrator, password is abc@12345 and click OK. In real world there is another extra user for this purpose. Click next and choose the previous one, next, and configure. Okay, so it will take some time to configure, and that's it, you are done. This is how we configure CS server. And by the way, to test them, what I can do, let them done, then I will show you. Yeah, it's done, and close, and you are done. You can close this one as well. How we can verify? So let me go back to my topology from anywhere in the network. I mean, this PC is directly connected, okay? So I can open this IP because I say through web as well, through network and both. So you can type 192.168.230 and cert SRV. When you type this one, it will ask you the username, so we allowed administrator, and password is abc@12345. So now it's open CS server. Later on we will request a certificate, and also we will use CS certificate as well for many purposes in Cisco ISE, okay? So now we can request a certificate as well, and if I go back I can download CS server as well. Okay, I can use this one and I will download and I will install this CS server in our Cisco ISE. So there will be no error. You remember normally firewall and all those ISE, when you try to log in it will give an error because of certificate. But now we have our own certificate to import to our browser, so there will be no error. This is the way to check them. So because I done with through web as well, so I say cert SRV. This is the command you need to type. You know the keyword. Type the IP address of the server, then forward slash and cert SRV. So it will open, type the username and password, and you can access. So it's done. And if we go to all these steps which we done already, okay, and done. And now I show you how you can access them. Cert SRV, and then later on we will use them in our lab. So this is how to configure CS server.